Welcome back to the Explainer. Okay, today we are jumping right into a targeted exam masterclass on Chapter 11, Consumer Protection. My goal today is super simple. We're going to unlock those guaranteed marks together. We'll be breaking down this exact textbook material into highly visual, really easy to remember concepts. Let's get started.
But hey, before we hit the heavy theory, let me ask you something. Have you ever been totally cheated by a fake product? Maybe you ordered this high-end gadget online and what actually showed up was a cheap plastic knockoff. Or maybe you bought food that turned out to be completely adulterated. It is an incredibly frustrating experience, right? Well, that exact feeling of being exploited is literally why this entire chapter and the laws within it exist in the first place.
All right, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, meaning and importance. Second, the 6 consumer rights. Third, the 3-tier redressal system. And finally, some killer exam memory tricks.
Let's dive straight into Section 1, Meaning and Importance. Now, you really want to listen closely to this exact phrasing, because it's exactly what your examiners are hunting for. Consumer protection means providing a shield to the consumer from the unethical, exploitative, and unlawful practices of sellers or manufacturers. When you're writing this out in your exam, you absolutely must use those key textbook words: shield, unethical, and exploitative. Hitting those words is going to lock in full points for your definition.
So examiners absolutely love asking why consumer protection matters, and they want you to look at it from 2 totally different angles. On one hand, from the viewpoint of the business, protection is important because businesses use public resources and they have to fulfill their social responsibility to the community. But flip it over to the consumer's viewpoint, and protection is desperately needed because of widespread exploitation, general ignorance of the law, and a total lack of unity among individual buyers. It's like 2 sides of a coin, and you need to contrast these perspectives perfectly.
Okay, I've got a golden nugget for you here. If you get a long-form question on the business viewpoint, drop this quote. Consumer is the most important person visiting the place of business. He is the objective of our business. This perfectly aligns with Gandhi's principle of trusteeship, which essentially argues that societal wealth held by businesses should actually be used for the welfare of the people. Tossing in this specific historical detail will absolutely impress whoever is grading your paper.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 6 consumer rights. Under the 1986 Act, there's a very specific flow of 6 guaranteed rights that belong to every single buyer. Getting visually familiar with how these rights interact is the absolute key to truly understanding the core of the consumer protection law. And listen, you have to know every single one of these for full marks. Let's rapid fire read through them. Number 1 is safety. 2 is information. 3 is choice. 4 is representation. 5 is redressal. And 6 is consumer education. Just remember, whenever a question asks for consumer rights, these are your 6 non-negotiable must-have primary headings. Let's just zoom in on the right to safety as a quick example of how to expand on those headings. The right to safety basically means protection from products that are harmful to your health. To give your exam answers some real concrete depth, use the textbook's specific example. Think of substandard electrical appliances that can cause dangerous injuries. Mentioning that only standardized, superior quality appliances should be used shows the grader that, hey, you don't just know the headings, you actually deeply understand the underlying text. All right, on to Section 3, the 3-tiered redressal system. You're going to want to pay super close attention here, because this is practically guaranteed to be on the test. If a consumer has a genuine grievance, it enters this 3-layer hierarchy. It starts down at the foundational level with the district-level forum. It can move up to the state-level commission, and it can escalate all the way to the top at the national-level commission. It's literally a ladder for justice. So how do we actually know which commission a case goes to? Well, it's entirely based on the price of the goods and the compensation demanded. For the district forum, the monetary limit is up to 20 lakhs. The State Commission handles claims for more than 20 lakhs, right up to 1 crore. And the National Commission, they step in for anything strictly above 1 crore. Guys, I literally cannot stress this enough. Mixing up these monetary brackets will immediately cost you points, so commit these limits to memory. But what if a consumer is totally unhappy with the judgment at the district level? Well, I want you to literally burn the number 30 into your brain. A party has a strict 30-day window to appeal a decision to the next higher commission. That means exactly 30 days to appeal from district to state and 30 days to appeal from state to national. Just remember the number 30. Just to quickly round out the syllabus before we hit those memory tricks, the textbook also highlights some external ways used to build consumer awareness and settle disputes. You'll definitely want to recognize things like fast-track auto lots, legal instruments like public interest litigations or pills, the whole push for eco-friendly products, and of course, the vital role of consumer protection NGOs like CIRC in Ahmedabad and Voice in Delhi. Dropping these into an essay makes for fantastic supplementary points.
Okay, the moment you've been waiting for. Section 4, Exam Memory Tricks.
First up, how on earth do you remember all 6 of those consumer rights when exam panic sets in? Simple. Just think of the acronym RICERS. Let's walk through it together. R for representation, I for information, C for choice, E for education, R for redressal, and S for safety. If you just quickly scribble RICERS at the top margin of your test paper, each letter is going to perfectly trigger one of those fundamental rights in your brain. It is a total lifesaver. And what about those notoriously tricky monetary limits for the 3 commissions? Honestly, just use the rule of 20 to 1. The numbers 20 and 1 represent your absolute boundary lines here. 20 lakhs is the maximum limit for the district, and it's the starting minimum for the state. Meanwhile, 1 crore is the maximum for the state and the starting minimum for the national. The rule of 20 to 1 instantly organizes all 3 tiers for you, so there's no way you'll ever confuse them again.
Let's wrap up this explainer with a super quick pop quiz right here, right now. Just answer this in your head. What is the exact monetary limit for the state-level commission? Did you get it? If you pictured the rule of 21 and said more than 20 lakhs and up to 1 crore, you absolutely nailed it. You are fully empowered to ace this chapter now. But as we finish up here, I want you to ask yourself something. As our world moves entirely toward global e-commerce, international shipping, and completely AI-generated products, are these foundational 1986 consumer laws still strong enough to protect you today, or are we secretly due for a massive revolution in consumer rights? Think about it. Keep reviewing, trust your preparation, and I'll see you in the next explainer.